This real-side experience is an example of how we can receive answers to questions and personal self-ponderings on the real side. We can, of course, have our answers on the physical level also, as life is always demonstrating something to us, in the various forms that may take, to the extent the real universal guides may manipulate our immediate environment if they see we are being attentive to afford us informations. Realistically, everything we need to know about our personal self is in our environment, because our experience is the effect of our consciousness, as it is in every moment. And as everything is an isness, then everything is within our grasp in every moment, and is but a perceptual, recognitional, real awareness shift away from our personal awareness. Before sleep, we can sing the New You song and pose questions. Then it is for us to pay attention to our real side dreams and recognize what is being demonstrated there. So, I had been pondering about a certain personal self-idea, and if perhaps it was workable with my real awareness in the process of recognizing the true reality of the is, or if it would prove a hindrance, and was perhaps then best left discarded. So I would initially find myself on what seemed to be one of those fairground rides where the individuals would be trundled around a track and pass various scenes along the way. I seemed to be with other individuals, unidentifiable to my personal self, and we each had our own little vehicles. The ride itself was far vaster than the norm. In fact, I would say it must have spanned an entire planet, such was its scope and grandeur. There were many themes too, as we would proceed along, of various settings and eras in so-called human history. The most extensive section was the dinosaur scene, and that was down the track a ways, and looked most frightful in its realism. Interestingly, I couldn't see the dino section from here, but I knew it was there, waiting for us, after many miles and miles of journey. While on this ride, I had in my possession New Book 6, as I had been reading it again of late on the physical, and in fact had been reminded, as I re-read this book, that we may pose questions of the guides, if queries do occur. So, the presence of the book was clearly an indication that this real side event was the answer to the question I sought, based on how it was New Book 6 that had reminded me of the asking of questions prior to sleep. While trundling around the track, I took it upon myself to read the book out loud to the other individuals, for although the little cars were separated, they were close enough, and the others were in earshot. Perhaps I took the opportunity to share, while in the midst of my question-answering demonstration. Maybe the real guides had placed these individuals here, knowing that I would read from this book, and they could then benefit from its awareness-provoking information. As people decide to become more aware, as they initially choose this, and are approached on the real side by the guides, it follows then that opportunities and situations will occur on the physical level for these individuals, even with no prior information about the super knowledge of the ears. They may stumble onto a YouTube video, overhear a conversation. Something will be set up to spark their interest and set them on their way to finding the new presentation. We're all in the same life, and others will enter our experience if we align with them in regards to where our focus, intent, and activities lie. So often, individuals will enter our experience if they are prompted by the guides and their real awareness, and it can happen anywhere in creation or on the real side, and in the middle of a fairground ride is as good a place as any, as I read to them from New Book 6. Suddenly, though, my little car would derail, and I went spinning off the tracks. Standing in an open area to the side was a little group of individuals and Duane. My little car went hurtling and skidding toward them, and crashed into Duane, and he was knocked to the ground. This can't be good. I've just crashed my car into the new man, thought my personal self, perhaps forgetting the demonstrational nature of the real side, as it was feeling very guilty for this deed, even though it was an accident. I would swiftly depart my car and help Duane to his feet. I was very apologetic and ashamed. He limped about a little, but beyond that seemed otherwise unharmed and in good humour. Well, that was a relief. Then the scene skipped forward, and I was back on another railroad track ride, except this one was far more intense, and I would say it had a more restrictive sense about it. The scenery less open, more crowded, and of a darker nature. There the dream would end. The original question was regarding an idea, and the incorporating of it into my process of awareness. If it was an idea worth pursuing or abandoning. I probably knew it was not worth pursuing. My real awareness knew. But we always have the pesky personal self, and it tends to glam up certain notions and package them in an appealing fashion to present to us in the hopes we might take them on, almost tricking us in a sense, like marketing ploy from the personal self, perhaps spurred on by the influence. But with real awareness we become better able to discern what makes sense with the whole of life, in whatever we endeavour to do or activate. Sometimes, however, there is no harm in trying something out, as Duane often has said, how he will take the risk, even as the guides may wag their fingers, just to see how it may turn out. And if what we do is from a place of real intent and sincerity, then we can be forgiven our miscalculations, and besides, with our focus and real awareness connection, we are at the very least the conscious effects of our creations, and any misjudged ideas we can take on the chin, and they needn't burden us, karmically speaking. Even so, one doesn't want to indulge the personal self too much. Where the overall focus is, will forge our position in life, and we don't want to dig our heels in the dust of creation.